I say, and then in daily living, it is what you are already practicing. You just need to do a little adjustment here and then you're good to go as a business owner. And so today, as usual, we have expert, top-notch guests who would help us dive into the topics we have. As we do it always know, it is the beginning of another season, being season 6, and we are starting the first 2 episodes with a Q&A session, that is a question and answer session. And so we have our guests coming from the previous season and also discussing topics from the previous season. We started last week with questions on auditing, accounting, and anything else related to business. Today we are continuing with marketing, communication, procurement, HR, administration, and the likes. To help you know who is with us today, I'm going to start with our introduction. If you saw our flyer this week, you realized we had 3 guests on the show today, and yes, we do have 3 guests. One is with us in spirit, but she has joined us virtually. We have lawyer Bridget Kunedu Afudu with us. Lawyer Bridget is a legal expert in the energy sector and is currently serving as a legal manager at Senate Energy Limited, an independent power producer in Ghana. She's also a partner at Afrimo Advisors and the hostess for Lawyers in the Corporate Space webinars, a platform for more education for in-house lawyers. Yes, in-house lawyers. Her areas of expertise include energy and environmental law, corporate and commercial law, labor and employment law, and intellectual property. Lawyer Bridget, are you with us? All right, I'm sure. Yeah, she's still with us though, but I'm sure Beba should come on strong. We also have in our midst today Mr. Samuel Ewua Boche. Hello, Mr. Boche.
Hi.
Okay. Mr. Samuel Boche is the head of IT for the Bible Society of Ghana. He's an accomplished IT professional, Magdus, with over 5 years of experience in system administration, cloud services, AWS, Azure, name them all. So when it comes to IT security and project management in IT, know that we've got the best with us today. He's also an expert in managing IT infrastructure, ensuring security compliance, and optimizing systems to enhance organizational efficiency. I remember when before the show, he was telling me I was using big English words, and now it is what I'm using to describe you. These are your words, though.
I know, right?
All right, good to have you with us today, Mr. Wuchi.
Thank you for having me.
And another special guest we have, I just can't wait to pick her brain on our topics today. She is Miss Mami Efua Kuta Otu. I hope I got the name right.
Yes, you did.
All right. She's a procurement specialist with the procurement unit at the Ghana Audit Service. She's a highly experienced procurement professional with 15 good years of experience. You don't look it. You don't look it at all. And then, yes, she's a senior level experience in public service and corporate environment, a chartered specialist in procurement and supply chain management, UK, international experts, and holds an MSc in logistics and supply chain management from Kane UST. And yes, her professional bodies are many. If I start, we are not going to end today. So good to have you here, Mami.
Thank you so much.
Bridget, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, good to have you too, Bridget.
Good to be here.
All right, so as I mentioned earlier, this is a Q&A session of season 6. Your guest hostess Ajwa Puku, and you are watching us live on Hope TV and its social media handles, including Facebook and YouTube. You can also watch the show live on the Law Chambers handles on Facebook. We are having a number you could send your questions through if you still have questions, because this is a compilation of the questions you got last season. However, if you still have more questions during the show, you can send them through 0559 680066. 0559 680066. And so, for me, I'm very excited, actually. Let me just put it out there again. So if, yes. First of all, we would like to know, once you have started a business, okay, you start first as a sole proprietor, and eventually your business is expanding, but you just have 1 or 2 people under you. You don't see the need for someone else managing the personnel, and now you grow and you grow and you grow, and you realize, okay, you need an HR, but you also need an admin person. How are you able to draw the line between the two? Who an HR person is, or who an admin person, or even HR and administration? What's the difference, and when do they also overlap? Lawyer Bridget, I'll be very glad if you could carry this one for us. All right. So, yes, HR and then administration. For the little experience I have had, I know admin is usually dealing with, I like to see it as dealing with the writing and coordination bit of an organization, right? And you try to cater for anything that is coming in and out of the organization in terms of gatekeeping and also managing records. But then with HR, that's where it gets tricky. But then moving on from there.
Yeah, I think with HR usually looks at policies.
Okay.
Conforming with policies, sets rules, and human behavior. And then the admin bit looks like what you just mentioned, and then possibly what the staff or the staff members need to work with. For instance, an admin person should be looking at if it is a managerial position, possibly you need some sort of tools to work with. That is administrative based. Maybe you need a drawer in your office, you need a television in your office. But HR is looking at you conforming with the policies, and then, yeah.
Okay.
I think that one other important role of the HR is the payroll.
Very necessary.
Very important. Yes. Because you cannot have your people working for you and then they are not happy.
Yeah,
you look at their well-being, and as part of their well-being, we are looking at their paycheck. So it's one very important thing with HR.
And then they handle the law bit, and then in terms of the organization, if there's anything that has to do with legal, it will be the HR team that would have to go and then handle it.
Yeah.
Yes,
So when Mama mentioned something about payroll, I thought of benefits as well. Our leave, our 13th month salary, and the Christmas, you know.
The HR person is to make sure and ensure that you go on leave, because by law, if you don't proceed on leave, it is mandated. So those are some of the functions of the HR.
And so this is where we are able to draw the line between administration and HR, because you can't have administration catering for your leave when there are so many letters that must, or emails that must also go out, right? You mentioned something about procuring items for staff and they being responsible for that. But in as much as we would go through HR for that request, procurement also comes, and sometimes it can be very annoying. I'm not sure why they decide to do that, because whatever it is you buy, it will still be for me. But you stress us. So what is procurement when it comes to the world of business?
Okay, so when we're talking about procurement, I don't know why it is annoying, but then when we're talking about procurement, we are looking at a process. It's a whole process. I think that is where people get it wrong. It is a process of acquiring or obtaining goods and services for an organization. Okay, so in doing this, there is a whole lot that is entailed. We are looking at need identification. For instance, we have various departments and units in our organization, and all these units or departments have 1 or 2 needs that they require to be able to get to the end of what the company stands for. So we look at the need, We identify the various needs. Sometimes you even have to do the groupings because we cannot buy certain items every day. I'm buying pen every day. It is a strategic way of buying. So we have moved from the era of purchasing into procurement, which is a managerial thing that we do. So after identifying the need, we look at sourcing suppliers. You have all these needs. Who is going to get us the kind of needs that we want? That is for us to be able to select the required suppliers to give us what we need. We also do request for quotation when it comes to goods and then services. Also it works. But when we come to request for proposals, we are looking at consultancy for them to supply, to give us the proposal, to be able to select the kind of supplier to get them to get us what we need. And then we move to contract administration. Before we even get to the contract administration, we do, what do you call it? Yes, we do the contract administration, and then we move on to the order and delivery. That is also part of the contract administration. And then we look at the payment, how payments would go for our suppliers. And then lastly, we would also review the whole process.
Wow.
We would review the whole process to be able to know that these processes that we went through went well, and that when we are doing another procurement of such nature, what do we go in for and what do we not do? So that is what procurement is. It is not annoying. It is these things are put in place to be able to be fair in selecting our suppliers. We want, especially when we are doing public procurement.
Yeah, I was going to jump into that. What exactly is the aim of public procurement in Ghana?
Okay, so with the public procurement, we are looking at the laws.
Okay.
So there are two procurements, if I would say. We have the public and then the private procurement. With the private procurement, it is also acquiring goods and services or even works for organizations. But when we shift into the public procurement, then we are talking about the taxpayers' money being used in making some of these purchases. Okay. But when we talk about the private procurement, it is, you have opened the business and you need certain things. So that one goes by the policies of that said entity or that said organization. It doesn't go by the laws. That is the public procurement law, the Act 663. It doesn't go by that. If they would want to use it, it is based on them, but they use their policies to go through their procurement. But in public procurement, we are looking at what the law says they should do. So based on the threshold, based on how much a commodity or a service is, then the law would tell you that then you would have to go through getting such procurement in this way or this manner.
I see. Now that I understand the whole process, I think what you would usually need with the procurement department is patience, because there really are lots of steps in the process. But so the private sector and then the public sector, what's I know the first thing you mentioned was the laws. They allow themselves to be ruled by, so they decide to go by the procurement system of a private organization. Or maybe I didn't get it all, but what exactly is the difference?
So, like I was saying, when it comes to the private organizations, they are not governed by the public procurement laws. Okay, they are not governed by that. For instance, if you have your business, you have your money, you want to buy, and then you have a procurement person there. You try and put certain laws in place so that your money will be efficiently used. Okay. But when we come to the public, that is for all of us, because we are all taxpayers. It is for you, it is for me. Yeah. It is our money, and we are going to use our money to buy ABC, books, roads, consultants. They are all forms of needs that are used in the public sector. So if we are going to use our money to purchase such services or works or goods, then it should be in the confines of a certain law that we all agree to. You understand?
Yeah.
So that is why the Public Procurement Act is there for every procurement person in the public sector to go by. This will bring about fairness. This will bring about accountability. This would come up to solve issues of people being bitter and being somewhere saying that they have taken all the money and they are using it as people might think or we may say. So it goes through some kind of laws that has been put together. Okay, so when you go contrary to that, then you have breached the law. It is the people's money, and the people have put down, laid down procedures how you are supposed to spend government money through procurement.
Okay.
I don't know if the
difference is very clear now. And so I heard there's something called the Ghana Electronic Procurement System. How exactly does it work?
Okay, so we have come to a time and age where all these paper documents are being shifted from, the paperwork. We want to shift all to an electronic base. That is how I would want to explain it to a layman. Okay. So now we are not doing more of the paper. Gone were the days where we do tender. When we say tender, we buying something, we throw it out to the public. Anybody who wants or who can fill in the need that we want would come in and bid. Then people would write their proposal, will quote, would have their finances before they run to these entities to submit their quote. We want to scrap all of that so that in the confines of your home, you being relaxing, all you need is data. You can get on the electronic system, and then just like the WhatsApp, it's just an app in which when you go there, you see all tenders. And if you can, and you have the capability of supplying, you just go in there and fill your forms, and there you go. Everybody sees it. It becomes very transparent. It's one of the transparent modes that I have seen. Yes, the system that I have seen.
Oh, that's good to know. And now that we mentioned fairness and being able to get the right people for you to efficiently manage systems and processes in an organization, in the event that there's a dispute, and Bridget, I would love for you to step in on this one. Which one is usually ideal for a business? Litigation or alternative dispute resolution?
Hi, I think it will depend on the nature of the business. If you have a business in a complex industry, or let's say you are maybe an EPC, engineering, procurement, construction, contract, maybe it's a technical, an industry-specific issue, you are better off getting an arbitrator so that the parties can select the person they want to decide, the judge, more or less. But for arbitration, alternative dispute resolution, the one who decides the matter it's called a judge. It can be one person, it can be three. The Act says, the ADR Act says it should be an even number. So it can be 3 people, 5 people, whatever number of experts that you want. The parties usually decide in the contract. So if it's a specific area and you think you want specific expertise, that's fine. Then we would recommend ADR. But if it's a bit general and a bit contractual, you can decide to resort to the normal courts. And depending on the amount involved, you can start from either the district court, circuit court, or high court. So those are things that will help you to decide. But you would have agreed to your mode of disputes resolution in your contract. If you don't have a contract, then perhaps by default you can just go to court. But the business too should also know that arbitration usually costs more. Arbitration can give you your decision faster. You have the experts that you want deciding, but it costs a lot more. But litigation, you can risk going before a judge who may not know exactly how it works in your industry. So then the lawyers will now have to explain to detail. Litigation can be longer. It depends. Some people can dilly-dally, drag out the matter. It depends whether there will be legal vacation here or there. You can drag it out. So these are some of the pros and cons that will help you to decide where you are going to go in the event of a dispute.
Okay, thank you. And so what exactly is the legal framework of arbitration? What are the laws governing it, and what are its advantages? What are its, I think you already mentioned that, but if maybe you go a bit in depth, especially into the advantages, so that we know what we are going in for, and maybe a bit of its disadvantages. So
I'm sorry, there was a bit of background feedback. The question was, what laws govern
arbitration or alternative dispute resolution, the laws governing it and its regulatory legal framework?
Okay, so for the longest time, we resorted to court to decide our issues. You'd go before a judge, an independent person, and then the judge will decide the matter between 2 people. But it had its issues. It had its, like for instance, what I said, it could drag. Sometimes the courts are, not sometimes, the courts are overwhelmed with a lot of cases, So some of these issues that were coming, we even have an adage that says the wheels of justice grind slowly. It will take a while before sometimes you get the justice that you want or deserve. So over time, we started to come up with alternative dispute resolution mechanisms. Okay? And these are mechanisms that we have always employed in our daily function, all the time. Even file a case in court, litigation, you find yourself as the parties will talk on the side, and you come and say that we resolve the judges. So how can we formalize this? And even in our Ghanaian system, we used to go to chiefs for them to decide our matters. So how can we formalize it? So finally, in Ghana, in 2010, we passed the Alternative Dispute Resolution Act. So the Act provided for various things, provided for what will the scope, what will make you take a case for arbitration. So like I said before, in your contracts you can decide. And bear in mind that you have to decide in your contract whether you're doing litigation or arbitration. You can't say if arbitration fails, or if arbitration ends, then it goes to litigation. Then either or thing. So it has to clearly spell that. And that's because the Act provides that arbitration is final. So after you have agreed that we want to do 3 arbitrators, 5 or 1, whatever award, and that's what we call the judgment, it's final award. Whatever award the arbitrator gets, it's final. End of discussion. You can't appeal. So you only go to court because court is the one that has powers to enforce. So they'll give you powers to enforce, and then if police has to come and all that. So that's the law that governs it. The law says that if it's an environmental matter, don't take it for ADR. If it's the national public interest, don't take it for ADR. If you are interpreting the Constitution, that's for the Supreme Court, don't take it for ADR. Apart from that, any other matter, you can take for ADR. And then under the Act, they also provided for the ADR Center, the Ghana Arbitration Center. So that is the institution that you typically submit your claim to. Like if you have a claim, you take it to a statement of claim, you take it to court, you file it in court. With ADR, you file it at the center. The center will give you a list of arbitrators for you to choose from. The center will serve the other party, the one that you're complaining about. And then they also have a right to respond. So the center regulates all of that. To send you a list of arbitrators to choose from, then parties will agree and choose, and then the process runs like that. So for ADR in Ghana, we have the ADR Act from 2010.
All right, that was quite enlightening. So for a business that is looking to other means of dispute resolution, you know you have a legal backing when you decide to go for either arbitration or the other alternatives, alternative dispute resolution methods. We will go for a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
Brabra Bonyina and Nina saw any papomde. Now, so what pomde wants some enquire Amane Asamaranko. And I'm sent to the Hope TV. I Jumadie Sonko Fire Pomde Ako. Yarabia Fan arthritis. Arthritis at it in a Hanipa Bebre. Nompe ya joint ya dear. Arthritis a manipa brain sa agent semo. Opeyana or come. Pain yow akodo yegusu esua bibi for arthritis niam akodo edeba ede ne arthritis na nisu esitie kwanya ba fa so be ko ban afri arthritis niam bia edadi wo ni padua mu ma ho se arthritis yare na etetiwe ye beso ne nyina niam bi ko ni padua ni mu ebre new system ase ye ka new system mo sem fufuro konso kra ede achiro asojafo ewo ni padua ni mu a omo eboa kutian yarewa enti mo remfi kosoara kwasieda bia nonso pepe metre anwumre kwasieda bia hia menena na yewase edu ane osomfo prince kwasi amwako na yencha pomde honsam
Apomodempa, a holistic health show showing this and every Sunday at 7 p.m. only on Hope Channel Ghana.
Mountain View Ghana Conference of 7-day Adventist Church. Yenye mfedu, erade na ye.
Jumadie ahemfo eba ebine Nana Ejapa Ameya, the second acting president, Agna Traditional Council. Abaimu Penifo, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, President of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Dr. Frank Amakwehene, Ashanti Regional Minister. Teacher Betnemo, Dr. K.K. Sapon, Chancellor, University of Professional Studies.
The appearance of one penny to say Pastor Dr. Kwame Anobuahe, and also Penny Pastor Dr. Kwame Penny Buache.
I want to hear you, Mano. Pasiada, clean up exercise. Fiada, a bompire or as a pononial man. Fiada, no talk as here in Yamia. Na homedano ya kuja kesie
Bompaye ese Mountain View ina say 11 October 2025
ewa Adventist Senior High School agona ni apefoto a emu through ya boa conference jumedi edamunya so conference anijabo.
Okay, welcome back. Tino, washe ejuma for frase. Washe ejuma na se no unhu se ejuma ni nyim. Nti ehun behia se ubenya nkrofo mbeboa. Odi omo abem. Odi obi a waba begine mu ama wetumi ahesa nkrofo no so, which is the HR person. Osa so hu se enyema bi anankrata sem bi e ejuma ni mu nti no e wo se no so unyo obi no tumi ehwe eho ne ma na wetumi anya the focus on a peace of mind to focus on the other operations of the company until we admin person emane status or handle alone. And no chino, it's not I was so taught in Yama at the back. I was so pest suppliers, Benya Abuchenin Tiasie, Sika Semu, Enkrata Semu, ni Bibiana, and so he decided to bring in a procurement specialist. And I say he sought the advice and expertise of a procurement specialist. Now, why you winning now? One who say, it's winning a lot of disputes and tower between you and your partners and then your suppliers. So you go to see a lawyer, they're in a litigation or ADR, and also lawyer Nina Abwa. We have grown, the company is still growing, and now you decide to, instead of always going to see a lawyer, you get an in-house counsel. But one would ask, what exactly is an in-house counsel? Your lawyer knew and no kind of home, you're also bit me Abwa or Sakaya, so we average it.
Yes.
So when we say an in-house counsel, what exactly is it, or who is it, and what is their role in an organization?
So like you mentioned, like you indicated, your business is growing. Your day-to-day legal matters, activities are increasing. At this point, going to a lawyer outside the company can become cumbersome because your request is also pending. They have other clients. So you decide to get an in-house lawyer. Let me get a lawyer to join me. So that the lawyer is in the next office. The lawyer is 2 offices away. If any issue comes up, you can quickly call this Mafeni panel immediately to get your resolution. So that it's not always you sending emails out to a law firm because that person is present, your business, that person is present. That's why you've hired an in-house counsel. So in a sense, the in-house lawyer, in-house counsel, has only one client, and that's the company. So if I'm an in-house counsel, there's no way I can tell the managing director or the chief executive officer that I am doing other things, except perhaps we have some form of agreement. Because that's why the company's business is your only business. It's your only legal work you're supposed to provide. So that's when your company is growing, getting complex, you have a lot of issues. You can decide to bring a lawyer in to help you. Then you bring your in-house lawyer to come and help you.
I see. And so then it means that once you have an in-house counsel, no need for any external partnership with any law firm any longer. So assuming you totally cease all sorts of engagements with external lawyers?
No, having external lawyers can be advantageous.
Okay.
Sometimes they will have more expertise than your in-house lawyer. Sometimes one other benefit is, a law firm will definitely have a team. It's a whole team at the law firm. So if you send a matter to them, you have a team of experts looking at it. As against has in-house lawyers. Some big organizations have a whole department. The banks, some of the government agencies have about 5 lawyers. That's different. But sometimes if it's a small company, you have just 1, at most 2. Sometimes you prefer the expertise of the bigger one. Some too don't want to do litigation, so that when the litigation or even arbitration whatever, then they bounce it off to the team of lawyers. Because you're going to court, if one person can come, the next person can go. That sort of thing. So it's always good to have external counsel. Sometimes it can give you, another opinion. When a matter is happening and you are right there, you are involved, sometimes you might see things a certain way. So when you bounce off the issues to the external lawyer, because they are outside the organization, they didn't have this consideration. You find that sometimes the advice is better. So it's always good to have external lawyers. It can be costly, it's good.
Yeah, it can be costly. And then what you can change that. But in America, you will see when we get there, we cross the river. And so now I have started my business. I actually have a question here like that my business is still small and still growing, and I don't think I'll need a procurement specialist yet or a human resource and admin person yet. But I still need to be able to draw customers. What pathway do I take for that to happen?
Okay, so there are various ways that one could use to create visibility, generate revenue. We are all aware of the emergence of social media, and it is a platform that you can either use to entertain yourself or to generate revenue. So as a business person, lately you see a lot of people now selling online. You would chance on people doing TikTok live, and then they are selling. They don't have a physical store or a physical business location, but they sell at the comfort of their home. Delivery, or there are delivery systems that we have in place, or the person can get a delivery support system, and then at the comfort of your home, these products are delivered to you. Unlike the traditional way where people had trust issues and you would have to have a physical location and pay for all utilities, and then that is also eating into your profit. But if you have a simple backdrop or color in your home, you can be at a corner and be selling your product. So digital technology has a way of helping everybody, but it depends on how you look at it. If you would want to see it as a platform that you can use to maximize your business operation, I believe you would go far. And sometimes the challenge is that most entrepreneurs have the fear or the mindset that technology is too confusing.
Yeah. So there's a Mercy here asking me, sir, what are the laws governing this? How do I know if I'm not breaking any law by using these social media platforms and these other unconventional advertising methods?
Yes, so on every digital platform, I will start with TikTok. They have their policies that if you violate, they themselves would even put you down. Now, if you go and infringe on someone's, or you talk about someone that is not true, that one to the National Communication Authority can also deal with you. So there are rules and guidelines with every platform which you need to conform with. If you breach it, it's either the platform is going to take you up or someone personally is going to take you up.
And so, can we then say that when it comes to this form of marketing, you mentioned the NCA, are they the regulatory body for these types of marketing, or you have other regulatory bodies
we
in Ghana?
We have the Data Protection Authority. Okay. So it depends on what you are breaching. If it is something verbal, then NCA can come in. If it is something that is technology, maybe you hack into someone's system, or you are using someone's account, or you are infringing on someone's privacy. We even have the Cyber Security Authority. So it depends on what you are actually doing and what would come with it.
Okay, so you've made us realize the opportunities that come with the social media marketing, the digitalization. Are there no barriers? Because it all seems too good to be true. At no cost, and you are making revenue. Are there no barriers?
Okay, there are barriers. Unfortunately, if the reason why most people are afraid in picking up technology is the exposure, and then sometimes to the knowledge that they have in operating it. But I always tell people that if you see yourself limited to technology or using digital tools, then in the next 5-6 years you will not be part of us, because everybody is using AI, and in a way, because you are communicating with your grandmother, you are using technology. You now wouldn't want to walk to your hometown to speak to your mother or spend digital money to them. Now you, at the comfort of your home, you send digital currency, and then they are able to withdraw. So technology is going to, or AI is going to replace people that do not know how to use it. So you recall that even in the States, Trump just mentioned about 2 days ago that there is going to be mass reduction of employees. And you find yourself that you find people that are unable to use technology. They are the ones that would be made redundant. If you look at any business setup, people that do not know how to operate technology or digital tools or use platforms are the people that will be replaced. personally, I'm an IT person. If I say that I am a graphic designer, and then my sister is able to pick her phone, or even her daughter is able to pick her phone, put pictures, put sound and everything together, and then even do more than what I, being a professional, can do, then how do I stand out? So you need to be a cross-functional person who is able to leverage on all platforms. So if for instance, if you call yourself an IT person, you don't just say you are, let's say, a videographer or a graphic designer, or you are a server administrator or a system administrator, you provide security. Moving forward, you need to be sure that you are in every bit of technology, so that at the end of the day, whatever technology is replacing will not catch up with you. So the difference between a traditional person who is selling with a traditional method as compared to someone who is using digital tools, I would be efficient. I would generate revenues faster, because having thousands of people or even 10 people on my live is much efficient and better than sitting in a store, a physical location, and people are passing by, and you would have to leave the comfort of your home or work before you are able to visit and then have a look at it. But if it is on digital platform, you are seeing it live. You are able to tell the person, I want to see the back of the cup. I want to see the back of the mug. Can you bring it closer? You know, you are able to view all those things. And most people are even doing or offering payment on delivery. So even when it's, in terms of security, when it comes, you're able to assess it before you even make payment and all that. So it has come to stay. And regardless what, technology is not going to go down. It is actually going to advance day after day, and we need to all leverage on technology to be efficient in our operations.
Okay. Inti, mema mi a ene o hwe no ti ase say TikTok na de wi hwe videos wo so no. Eno na obitumi so aton onyema ana efie dwa kakra na o yen. So wankasa wutumi nyena on ti ase a abrantie bi ana baba we bi na ono so ne otifie no obetumi abo kakra enyina yesua fi baby e dia kodru baby. And sometimes it's not just about the revenue it brings us. You mentioned something about security. How sure can we be, or how do we know that these digital platforms are secure enough for us to not get us into any trouble?
Okay, so security is an ongoing education. No platform is secured enough. In fact, even NASA, a 16-year-old girl hacked into NASA and shut their system for 4 days. Oh, wow. Yes, so even NASA, if I'm just trying to give a standard. So security is an ongoing platform or ongoing understanding. You do recall that people that were gone are the days they would send you an OTP. Now they know that people have been educated with OTP processes. Mm-hmm. So now they have a different approach of possibly sending a link. So someone can now generate even a bank interface that looks like your bank. Exactly. Your bank interface, and then the moment you key in your details, your username and password, it is saved, and then they can hack into your system or have access to your system. So we haven't come to an end. Gone are the days we used to have antiviruses attacking us, and then people creating. Yes, now it is more about, they realized that they were not really getting anything apart from ransomware that was released, I think 2017, that they would encrypt your data on your device, and then they ask you to pay them, and then once you pay, they decrypt it for you. These days it is about fraud. It's about using your personal data, your personal information, yes, and data to have access to make purchases and all that. So I wouldn't say any platform is secured enough. It is all about you, it is all about me, it's all about everybody being aware that you can be hacked at any time.
And that's deep. Okay, now I have broadened my market scope. I am getting the revenue I was looking forward to. And now I have built a brand. But it also means that I need to maintain that brand. I need to be able to grow the brand. I think that's when communication comes in and personal branding. So how do we incorporate that into the world of business? Or yes, when I am trying to start a business, communication, how do I know when to use what communication tool and skills and all those? Okay, so assuming you are selling clothing online, there isn't a streamlined structure of selling anything online. It is all about, like you said, communication. It's all about what you feel your audience needs. And sometimes we call something algorithm. If you're on a particular platform, there are certain things that you might be doing that would attract viewers. So you need to look at what works for you. Someone may be selling, and for them they put the mark on their head, and then they have viewers. They don't. Some people don't even talk. Based on, depending on what they are selling, they don't even talk at all, but they have viewers. So you need to look at the approach, what really works for you. Someone may decide to be using one particular slogan or strategy. For instance, he says that buy 4 and then free delivery. That is a way of understanding your customers and meeting their needs. You can't just pick someone's strategy and then just apply it to yourself in business environment and believe that it would work. You should have the dynamism, different ways of communicating or getting contact with your customers. So, and then you need communication, two-way approach. It's a clear transfer of information and meaning between people and organization. So if you feel you are communicating and it's not being heard, then there is no communication in the first place. If your customers are communicating to you, you are on live and then they are sending details. Maybe you are showing your mark. They say that, do you have a red color? And you're not paying attention. You're not responding to that particular customer's needs. Then there isn't any sort of communication. So it's a two-way approach. You don't just put out things there and then expect that it will blow. No. You need to also be involved. If you posted today a cap flipped up and down and it doesn't work, tomorrow you need to try a different approach. So there isn't a single way of communicating to. Do we have any laws or regulatory body governing this part when it comes to a business?
It depends on the operation. For instance, the online platform, I use the online one because that is what is really emerging. And that is the easiest business that you can actually start up with. So you could have, let's say, a 300 Ghana cedis and you start with kids' shoes. Today you sell them, tomorrow you get more to sell. You started maybe at the corner of your home, a place that is a little bit, even if you can just even hang a curtain and then start a business, unlike going to rent a physical location, paying light bill, paying utilities and all that. And these days, people would want to be comfortable. I don't want to come all the way to Sefiri also to come and buy a shoe for my daughter. I want to sit in the comfort of my office or even here. Once I are done with this, I could just go on live. Once I chance on your live, I'm able to order and then it is delivered to me at the comfort of my home. So it is very key, and it's not just TikTok, all the social media platforms. It depends on what you want to do. If it is about things that are not, that doesn't really require going on live physically, then you can use the Instagram platform. And Instagram, a lot of people are selling on Instagram. Your followers are also your conversion of making it, because if I come on your platform, the first thing I'm going to look at is your number of posts, the number of people following you, and then even the comments that people are making about your, yes, the reviews. Yeah. So all these tools, all these sections play most vital roles in every business environment that wants to be on digital platform.
Okay, so what then do we say is the relationship between communication and then public relations?
Communication. Okay, so communication is a tool to public relations. Okay. You need to have the communication channel or the medium to be able to even have a public relationship. Yes, so communication play as a tool.
And then I usually see that it is the communication department for organizations. They champion the corporate social responsibility, right? So what is it, and how does it also help the branding of companies?
So if you are, let's say for instance, a corporate social manager or responsibility manager, CPRM, then you are looking at visibility, corporate, social, so visibility. And if you want to be visible in this era, you need to be on social media platform. And you need to know, you need to be sure that it's your duty to not to bring out any information that is not true, any information that is not breaching Data Act, any information that is not going to lead your organization to have legal acts and all that. So that will be your responsibility to make sure that every information that you put out there is clear, is truthful, is precise, is accurate. You don't say that we want to change our brand, and then tomorrow you come and then say that we are sorry, we made a mistake. You need to be very clear with every details that you put out there. And mind you, anything that you put out there, you can't retrieve it back. If you mistakenly put anything about your branding, about anything, because the moment I see, you think you may have deleted it, but I may have screen recorded or even, how do I call it, screen captured it or anything. You never tell, even in seconds. So sometimes someone mistakenly posts something in a group and then thinks that they have quickly deleted, and someone says, I have it already. Because
there's a saying that the internet never forgets.
Yes,
Exactly.
the internet never forgets.
Exactly.
And so, when you were talking about breach, so I see that sometimes companies, they use the images of people, and sometimes it's their own employees, but they don't really have consent because, oh, so okay, we can use your image. Can there be other consequences to such acts? Or for even CSR campaigns, like you were mentioning, they decide to use some images, other publications without permission. If there are consequences, what are the way forward? How can they be dealt with?
They actually exist. Unfortunately, in our African world, people just take things lightly and they wouldn't want to proceed.
Because our lawyers are charging us a lot of money.
Yes. People also, so I don't know, but maybe our lawyer online can help us. But in other countries, there is a national lawyer that can also sit into, or is it a state lawyer they say? I don't know how the process is, but they are able to help people to pick up issues through the legal system. But unfortunately, most of us are not educated, so we are afraid that we are going to pick a lawyer who is going to charge us. We don't know the process. There isn't much or a clearer education out there. So if I breach on your right, I just take a picture of you and then I start branding my business with it. Sometimes you are even afraid that you're going to pay so much money to the lawyer, and what is the process? I don't want to go back and forth. You know, there isn't a clear understanding of what one should do. But in other countries, trust me, the little thing, you'll be sued. Legal actions will be taken against you. But in Africa, we are a bit lenient. So yes, there are legal consequences and actions that can be taken against. In some countries, even if you don't let your employee go on, proceed on leave, like she rightly said, you can be sued big time. But over here, an employee can decide to say, I won't let you go on leave. There's nothing you can do. What would you do? You are even afraid of losing your job and all that. So it's rather unfortunate. But you can't always play with the system. One time it will catch you.
If I can contribute to this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can understand and appreciate the uncertainties in going to get a lawyer. Like he said, hey, will they charge me and things like that. But we have the legal aid that you can go to if you generally can't afford a lawyer. And what some lawyers do in outside jurisdictions, they master the craft. Because for that place you need to get a job, and work. They master the crafts where the lawyers will approach you, or if you take a course of action to them, even if you don't have money, they will take up your case and assess how much they think you could win. You know, they'll listen to you. They say, you know what, this is a clear-cut case. You think you can make so much money if you sue your employer. So when they win, they'll take a bonus. So their payment will be in their winning. That's how they do it, because they are very sure. Yeah. So in Ghana, so we can. I remember, I don't know if you remember that Honorable Susu, those times at Medina, he was helping some people who were in prison for them to, you know, to go through their cases again, hearing. So if you receive your compensation from the state, then he will take a percentage of it, because you don't have money to pay him upfront. So that's what you do. If you think you have a valid cause of action, you can approach a lawyer, and if you don't have money, but I think if you sue my company, you make so much. But like he said, you should be afraid of losing your job. Yes, you will lose your job. You cannot sue your employer and be expected to remain in the company. And the court can't even order that anybody should be reinstated in the company. You can't compel two people to work together. So once you decide that you're suing your company, know that you may get money, but you're leaving. So those are the things. But if you think you've been offended, you've been hurt, there's some injustice against you, you can definitely talk to a lawyer. And then when it comes to remuneration, paying the lawyer, those things can be discussed later. But there's also legal aid. If you genuinely cannot afford, you can go to the legal aid and legal aid.
Okay. So, Leah Bridges, while you are still with us, can you give us your final words and how today's discussion can be related to persons with disabilities?
I think my final words, recapping the entire season and today's discussions, are businesses can thrive, can do better if they would apply themselves to some of these things that we are discussing, and whether they do both. But another thing too that is coming forward is hiring professionals. Sometimes you can hire an inexperienced professional, but at least they study something, then they can walk the journey with you. Talk to lawyers. It's not always about money. And it's always better to get a lawyer in the beginning than when it goes haywire, it goes down south. It goes south, and then you're now coming for a lawyer to try and make up a solution for you. So I always encourage people to talk to lawyers. There's always a lawyer that can fit your budget. If it's a small company and you can get a young lawyer, not too inexperienced young lawyer, because you know lawyers who compare, they talk to one another. So if he or she doesn't know something, they're going to talk to a senior for advice. So don't shy away from these things. You are protecting your company. And unfortunately, with persons with disabilities, we have some lawyers that have challenges with their sites, and it's not easy. It's not easy in a world where it has been designed for everybody with all their senses functioning. It's not easy, but it's doable. It's absolutely doable. I was at a conference last week, and I was talking to a lawyer from Nigeria, and she said she had a mental health disability that would sometimes make her very, I think, depressed. So she decided not to go in-house, because in-house you're reporting at 8, closing at 5 people. So she set up a firm so that she controls her hours, and so that if she's in a bad place, she can not respond to clients, and then respond to clients when she's feeling better. And it's working for her. So these are some of the things that I think as a country, as a people, we're going to have to pay attention to. And I think whether you have a disability or not, don't hesitate to come forward, to dream big and to venture. We'll all adjust and adapt to try and make it.
Yes, we will dream big. Mommy, your final words.
Okay, my final words would be that, like you started with your preamble, procurement is a process. And we go through all those processes because we would want to achieve efficiency, accountability. We would want to also reduce corruption. So you would have to have patience with us, because when we come to the public sector, which I work with, we would want to go by the laws and not to breach any of the laws, like my colleague lawyer said. And also I would want to also urge our suppliers to come on the electronic system. Now we are moving from the paper to paperless, to be on the electronic system. Every tender is placed there, and we need them to migrate from the paper times to the electronic system, so that we can have lots of suppliers to supply us with things that we need.
All right. And then your final words.
You will be where you are you will be where you are today in 5 years, except for the books you read, the things that you expose yourself to, and the systems that you use. In every setup, I am saying this today, people will be made redundant in the next few years, and these people are the people that do not know how to use digital technology. Like she said, they are making their systems now digital. So if you do not educate yourself and you feel technology is difficult to understand, then I'm sorry, it will cost you more in the future. So challenge yourself as a business or an emerging person that is starting a business. Don't limit yourself to one platform. Try all the platforms and challenge yourself, and you'll be better tomorrow.
Yes, so we are all about dreaming big and then challenging ourselves today, and also having a lot of patience. Thank you for joining the Lord Chambers today. We come your way same time, same day next week, and we are going to have our sit-in host Anita Delais-Danka taking over. See you, and God bless you. Okay.
Anne,
Adia chie biemo yenyame tiye mbaye bojumunio adia chie biemo yenyame oh umei yebutu hey Yerisu fire use tiye Yesu ei o mei yebutu hey Yerisu fire use tiye o mei yebutu hey Yerisu fire use tiye Yesu ei o mei yebutu hey Yerisu fire use tiye efiti enura najo yeboni nyina edaweni modeja tiye Yesu ei o mei yebutu hey Yerusu fira use tiye efiti busumi mu yeboni nyina edaweni modeja tiye Yesu ei o mei yebutu hey Yerusu fira use tiye efiti afimu yeboni nyina edaweni modeja tiye Yesu ei o mei yebutu hey Yerusu fira use tiye enye una uyizurai efiri nkuwasumum biduru kena asasi Yesu o mei yebutu hey Yerusu fira use tiye enye una wizirai efiri nkuwasumum beduru kena asasi Yesu o mei yebutu hey Yerusu fira use tiye eja o mei yebutu hey Yerusafira useti ye. Oh, may Yebutu hey, Yerusafira useti ye.
Adia chiyo, adia chiye biemo ye nyame.
Tiye
mpaye bojumunio. Adia chiyo, adia chiye biemo ye nyame.
Tiye
Yehowa nyankopon suo onyamenso Oni obi chana hinie owotumi onyamenso oyekesi enti wan kra na betumi o ene ne ho atutu erade wo tumi mu anase ahodim enyame mu misi obi ni ho enti no mesi beka me ho na yansum nyame ti asefo a obo osru ni asase epukensi ni munyema yawe nyame yahudu obebre obi eni ni die de freno ensusu yenye nyame no yafenu Elohim yawe yawe nyame yahudu obebre obi eni ni die de freno ensusu yenye nyame no yafenu mene die mene Samini nyankupon washirada kusu ate hunse emu no humi fi na body emu ntimika na menye ne kronkrota
Onyamenso oyekesi
Yohane ni suadi hunio
Mihuna bafuro biso kitada sempase Monkotoni obono suno Eni nasasi Mini dia mene da Nidani muna mene sumuno Edano eye kaida se Obadi emini onyankupo
Yohane ni suadi hunio
Mihuna bafuro biso kitada sempase Monkotoni obono suno Eni nasasi Mini dia mene da Nidani muna mene sumuno Edano eye kaida se Obadi emini onyankupo
onyamenso owotumi
oyekesi
erade ne kuni sumu etinu eye musuze ebesum nyankopa bode nansuso bonsam pese anko bepeja neja akosi erade atifi nanka osum kesiye no obonsam agini nyina nansusu Yesu ampene no nyankopon tu ni fi osoro minu mienu amani nyina jina osomoso Yesu Kristo nso hebre obonsam sre no wonso nansusu Yesu kase yankutu onyankopon obonsam divya siye afeferi ni tunami odi dada yende bia senka ye bekutu no
Above for me and Sankira, into Munsi, you're in a decent above for me and Sankira, into Munsi,
Yohane suadi hunio
Mihuna bafuro biso kitada sempase Monkotoni obono suno Eni nasasi Mini dia mene da Nidani muna mene sumuno Edano eye nkraida se Obadi emini onyankupo
Sunsun kronkron
tuni Yesu di
bijawo
Leso se betina mimuna mintumi mobrapa Efise Yesu Kristo Osimi se mifana seminu nkoyansi Nemso se wa mebwamia Mintumi nye bibia
Sunsun kronkron
tuni Yes, di mi jawo.
Yes, di mi jawo.
So say, but na mi muna mi to me mo brapa. If you say yes, Christo,
what you say, me fana seven kunyasi.
Nanso say what me bomia, mean to me the baby.
Mahuadin so, nonsense, everybody, between me, so, everybody, minimum so, some kunkunya me quantre fui to me. One man can't me who I mean you be. Some kunkunya me quantre fui to me. One man can't me who I mean you be. Everybody here was some Togona yadi, I wear Juma, one can who I am to me, Yashi, you and me, my friend, I made you my pass and forget you my buffer. Then so, yeah, boy, for a young Fonte, no about Yania, and near my one was one more day, and Ryan swear, get to me and fair one day, the answer, every new to my some croon. I didn't wear me, get the party of a fool, and me have to do navigation come now to me come. Let the bomb, and what she need, get to say, where was so. Every day to man so, let's swap up for this. One for never come, me. I say, everyone you. I'll see me some of you. My grand seven co. Your mum soon crown, one day, and never here. Then them a carbon in your meeting. Ain't no ma was no any kind of way to man. Up the boy, any when he body was say when he was some young fat defense. So echo so young soon crook to me. That the was some man. I been me as such a dark to me. Mahuadin so, Minyan so, to me so, minim dear so, some kunkunya me quanche free to me no, one man can't ye who I hear Shabby Mamma, some kunkunya me quanche free to me no, one man can't ye who I hear Shabby Mamma. Bitti mi di ma she eradi yesu kwem ni biara mede mi wato ne so sinkoda na jo mede mi wo shene sa ni bambo to mi ani want to me umbi na eshame so e ma me yote asifu mi tirimu
eradi mu na eradi so tirimu mi dia kwoni abe ne bambo ne shame so Masia miti ma Yesu ni ya ma ye madumtio
miti die ma she eradi Yesu kunwe mu mini nyami biara me de me wato ne so me koda na jo me de me wo share sa ni bambo to me ani want to me ubi na eshe me so Emma me your tatty for me tinimu.
It's a radimu, ne radisu tinimu. Media konya bay, the bambone shemisu. Masia miti ma Yesu. Ni yamaye, ayamaduntio.
Messi Sammy Kwamani mwe.
Edina, mbane
Edina mi kwa mi nyafa hudi
Yesu. Edina,
say I rebi never bomb ya.
Edina,
mi kwa mi nyaya reseni.
Edina,
say come never dimia. Edina mi kwa omam yediani.
Yesu.
Yesu Kristo didi.
Edina,
Edina ye bakupe.
Yesu.
Messi say ye boy Yesu diya. Siwate osururi asasi sinina mesi ediya yamasu sini edi bierenyo ediya mesi abaifu osurorio ediya Enya misi mami wate surani wate. Iresi mwa nina misi. Oti dina wo pupu che. Misi se kom ne bedimia.
Edina mi bone je.
Edina mi ba oma mi ediani.
Yesu edi to me.
Say ya wari na mi pa.
Edina mi bone je.
Edina mi ba oma mi wari.
Yesu edi to me.
Au miura.
Minto minko enti na mabara. Mejani ampa mabetu ewu Yesu. Yohoni ntokwa kono unko bimano. Enti na mabaze jakumamyo.
Owura Yesu.
Minto minko enti na mabara. Mejani ampa mabetu ewu Yesu. Yohoni ntokwa kono unko bimano. Entira mabase jakumamyo. Idinisio para mapaweni. Mama nyedosu. Owura Yesu Nigibika tentera mapaweni. Onimi kumafu. Eja misi idinisio para mapaweni. Mama nyedosu. Owura Yesu Nigibika tentera mapaweni. Onimi kumafu. Eja kumamyo.
Eja kumamyo.
Kumami.
Ye papa mi nyoso mufubia.
Oni makoche.
Oni mi kwantrefo. Awo chure mi kwan. Brother ni da sosa.
Kumami. Oni makoche.
Eja kumamyo.
Kumami.
Ye papa mi ni obia.
Kumami. Oni makoche.
Bifri makumemu dawa sibira.
Bifri makumemu. Bidewradiasi. Wanye waye minti.
Eradi bidawa sida.
Bifri makumemu na. Bidewradiasi. Wanye waye minti.
Samisi mibun kompa.
Mibun kompa rema shasi eni nyema. Babeduia. Bepera wayo. Mibun kompa rema shasi eni nyema. Babeduia. Waye bebre.
Erinti. Midawasi. Nanu nyame.
Midawasi bebre.
Eradi ye pia mamyo. Wapra boyi mwa. Gasa midana sida.
Midawasi bebre.
Odi boye niya. Mini eni dasubia. Eradi nyamya mamyo jie wate. Enti oba jenasi. Ojina weni. Shewidi yeni mwidawasi bebre.
Adifini mi fike.
Midawasi.
Na ye mi sorry.
Midawasi bebre.
Ubambo neshe mi sorry.
Midawasi.
Oh yes.
Midawasi bebre.
Na ye nyom
Midawasi.
Oh yehu.
Midawasi bebre.
Adifini mi fike.
Midawasi.
Na ye mi sorry.
Midawasi bebre.
Ubambo neshe mi sorry.
Midawasi.
Oh yes.
Midawasi bebre.
Na ye nyom
Midawasi.
Oh yehu.
Midawasi bebre.
Ishe mabrabo Midawasi Ibun komposhe metra Midawasi Iwedi nyami Ishe mabrabo Ibun komposhe metra Midawasi
Eradi ye bio. Osasida. Besheni dieni munya. Senyaradi na ya. Mayi swenko. Wampori ye bambo funya. Eradi boy you buy my from my pa or the any say and pono Obi consumer radio now one question a radin one I know my Savior lives, I can face tomorrow. All fear is gone, I know he won't because he lives, because he lives. I can face tomorrow because he lives. All fear is gone because I know He holds the future, and life is worth the living just because He lives. Because He lives, because He lives. I can face tomorrow because He lives. All fear is gone because I know He holds the future, and life is worth the living just because He lives. God sent His Son.